What's up, guys? Andrew Crooks Art here. Today I'm going to be talking about studio lighting. As you can see behind me, I've got my new backdrop that I'm working on. And one of the hardest parts about working with a backdrop and models and photography in general is dealing with lighting, especially in the studio setting. Everything you do will affect the quality of the image that you produce. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that you'll find around my studio. Of course, your camera. I have a Nikon D800. I run everything off of my iPad using Cam Ranger. That's just a nice way, especially when I'm doing self-portraits. I'm able to manipulate every function of the camera through my iPad using Wi-Fi. So that makes things a lot easier. Before, when I used to use a view camera, I would have to use like a cable release or a ball release. Okay, so it was a lot of work. Now everything's electronic and much easier. But the most important thing are my strobes. Especially since I work with models or some type of action, I generally want to stop the action. So a studio strobe is the way to go for me. I have a couple different kinds. I've got my Crooks, I think they're 400 watt slave strobes. Then I've got some nice photo battery operated strobes that are wireless. Those are really nice because I can move them around to different parts of the scene, put them behind models, and not have to deal with wires and cords getting in the way, and it just goes off the wireless system. So that's really nice. They sell those in China. I'm not sure about America, but I bought them here in Beijing. Okay, so let's go around. I also have made a model here in Illustrator to show you the different elements. When you start a photograph, you basically have a blank canvas. If you have very dull lighting, that'll change the quality or the atmosphere of the photograph. I typically like to have a more dramatic lighting with my photography, and I always try to get the most dramatic lighting that I can. Okay, so you can kind of see my studio setup here. I've got my 3 strobes. I've got a strobe behind the whale. Here I am testing out the lighting. Okay, you can see how very flat it is. I'm getting some shadows in the back. And I want to, I'm in my swimsuit right now just because, I need to see what my body will look like and the shadows on my body. So pay no attention to my fat rolls. Okay, so you can see me trying to pose. I had no idea how to attack this whale here. Okay, how was I going to pose and try to fight and ride this whale? I had no idea. So it's a lot of experimenting around, playing around with the pose. It was very difficult to balance the shadows of the scene and also use all those lights to get the highlights kind of almost blown out, so you have some nice details from behind, but also maintain, you don't want shadows on the backdrop. So here I am. I've got my strobe in the back. You can see how it's kind of lighting the line around my body a bit more. So let's compare that to the photograph at the beginning, where it's really, really flat. That tail in the background is casting a big shadow on the backdrop. It's just basically you have to move around and you have to experiment a lot when you're working. No one's going to have the perfect solution for your studio situation. Okay, so it takes a lot of practice. The more you do it, the more you'll realize, having a perfect balance of lights from both the left and the right doesn't create a lot of drama. So more of that one-directional lighting creates those raking shadows. You can see, just comparing the first photograph and the last photograph, look how the wrinkles in the whale, in the fabric, have become more rich and deep. You know, this whale only was about 4 inches wide, a piece of foam. So to make it look massive was the trick here. You know, how do you make your set dynamic? That's what you should be asking yourself when you approach your models in whatever you're shooting. What mood do you want to create? Do you want to create something very soft and subtle, or do you want to create something dynamic and expressive? Both are fine, you know, using sunlight and reflection, natural lighting. You know, I like the more theatrical, Renaissance chiaroscuro lighting, kind of film noir look to my images, but not so deep. I want it to look kind of that mix between extreme drama and, you know, it's a joke. It's like it's a fake set. Like, of course I'm not riding a real whale. So I want to have some drama, but I also want it to look a little cartoon-like in my imagery. I hope you get inspired. Hope my work inspires someone else to, if not create something themselves, just enjoy art, enjoy images. Okay, so stay tuned, stay creative, make something. Just you guys appreciating my work makes, you know, gives me the energy to continue making these images. So stay tuned, and I will have some more videos in the future. See you guys.